sorry about the audio quality, y'all. Let me know if you can hear me, okay? Got a few different things going on at one time. Check it out. All right, so down here, any echo or anything? I hope y'all got some snacks and something to drink or whatnot, because it looks like this is going to be a decent little time tonight. Awesome, awesome. Y'all give me a moment. I'm going to actually move my camera so that y'all can see the physical unboxing, because it's going to be a little bit of a feat just to get it out of the box, and then we'll be assembling and all that good stuff. Okay, I just want to let y'all know that I was here, but you know, we're gonna be here for a little while. Okay, that should handle that. Y'all give me just a moment, okay? All right. All right, I'm back, loves. Let me know if y'all can hear me. And we got 3 different sessions going on right now. Got a little help from my little brother. So y'all should be able to see this big old box. You can't even see the whole box. This is how huge it is. Gotta get down here for y'all to see. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is pop these straps, pull this monster out of this box, and first thing we can follow the instructions and assemble this thing. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Periodically, I'm gonna check the comments to see if y'all have any questions or if you need an explanation for something. I'll be happy to chime in. Okay, so let's do this thing. Let's do it, little brother. With the knife, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these straps for us. And of course, I'll do all the heavy lifting, you know. All right. Let me back it up just a little bit. See, I might be able to see a little bit better. Is the cord pulling? Yeah. I want y'all to see how huge this box is. I'm trying to get it in the frame. I can't even get it in the frame. All right, so we got it popped off. And we should just be lifting this top right off, but we may need to open it. See? There is a little flap on here that says open here for installation. A little flap. It's actually on the opposite side of the box here. And we'll take that stuff out. Pull this camera up just a little bit so you can see. Here we go. All right, so here is a power cable, and it looks like some instructions. Funny. I don't know if I'm gonna really use those, but since I have company tonight, I might do what I'm supposed to do. All right, so this little flap where I suppose you're supposed to read this before you do this. So let's see if that's gonna happen today. All right, so okay. So there are some plastic tabs that have to be popped out from both sides. Huh?
Keep the camera.
So I guess I can show you how you pull it out on the other one. There's one on each side. Let's see here. I can zoom you into the bottom. Let's see, where is it? Right here. You're gonna pull on one side, and it kind of opens up a bit. And you're gonna pull that mechanism out, and that's pretty much what locks it in place. I forgot what mirror image right now. There we go. So we set those off to the side, and any other pertinent instructions. All right, I think now we're gonna lift it up.
It's another double right here.
You got it? Oh,
yeah.
With some more information?
No. 8.
We'll go ahead and pull. These are.
Mm-hmm.
You probably can pull it up. Oh, there we go. So these are, pull it up just a little bit more. Here you go. Perfect. So these are the cartridges that initially come with the printer. They are quite tiny. Go ahead and pull those out. All right, so we should be good now to pull it up. And it has some handles here on the box. We need to pull it up by these handles. It'll be easier. All right. And we're just going to move this over to the other room because it will take up half of the room. Can you see that? Right. Okay. So, well, looks like we have the legs to assemble first. And where are those instructions? There is a video. And let me see. On solid. So I'm going to see if I can split screen this. Turn off the volume. Can't hear you. Okay, so y'all can you hear me now? I'm sure you hear echo now. I'm testing again. Let me know if you can hear me now. And my mic is over there, so I'm speaking a little louder. Let me know if you can hear me. Woohoo! All right, so we can hear. Let's follow these instructions and let's take out these parts and set them on the floor. So what we're probably going to do is set the parts on the floor here, so then we can move the. It's on a big wooden pallet. You can't see it because it's up under this big old machine. Yeah. Well, they won't be able to see it because this is going to be in the way, so we're going to have to basically move. Okay, well, we can move the camera. That's cool. So I'm going to move the camera so that you all can see what we're pulling out, because apparently this stuff might be important. All right, so you see this baby here? You guys see her? She's a beast. She is a beast. All right. And let's go ahead and see if we get everything in the frame. And anything we may have to move, we'll just move. Boom. So we got all this clear floor space, so we should be able to see something. There we go. Let me know if y'all can see and hear. If y'all have any issues, please let me know in the comments. I'll check them periodically, okay? All right. Let's do it. I think start picking up these pieces and just laying them out. And I think we need to put all this plastic. We'll just set it up on the next page.
You want to pay the one too where it comes from?
Oh.
The pieces come from?
Yeah, sure. Well, do you want to take a piece out and I just do the camera work for you now?
Sure.
To make sure everything's in there? Yeah. Or do you want to do the camera work?
I'll let you handle the camera.
Okay.
That thing moving too stiff. That thing moving too stiff.
Yeah. It's a little stiff. I got it tight. Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving that part from the center there. I'm gonna.
Put them right here. I do.
You can just. Well, yeah. Well, when you put it down, just lay it right there.
I know it's right, no left.
Just, I'm trying to show you what you can see right there. You can see. You can lay it that way. Where are you laying it right now? Okay. So that came off the top. We got some stuff coming off the top right now. What's that? Okay, so that is the roll holder, one of them. So you'll end up with a left and a right one. Yep. Yep. And it goes from 2 inches to 3 inches. So you can use 2-inch roll media or 3-inch roll media with this baby. Looks like a hex key kit here. This camera's like reversed, so whatever I'm trying to show you, it's not showing you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and set this over to the side. All right. What else we got? All right, so that part came off of the side, and it's probably got some goodies inside of it. And the legs, I believe we're going to assemble the legs first. So these legs, they already have the casters on them. Okay, so this one has an L for a left leg.
It has an arrow to show you the front
versus the back. Okay. Cool. You can set up here because we're going to move the camera over here into the light so they can see better too. So left, yep, that'll be the left, and that'll be the right. All right. What's next? So now this is like Christmas, unwrapping the plastic here. Yeah. It might be one of those things that come in the box so that, come in the plastic so that you can lift the plastic up. You know, like you can kind of use the plastic to help you lift it a little bit.
You got to lift it off the plastic.
Alright, so put that over there in that area. And
ain't nothing to it but to move it. It's a box. Leak it. You want me to pull it out from here?
yeah, that looks like it's a little. Oh. Got it.
Is there something in there that you can lock it down?
Is it?
They can do it, sure.
Oh. Yeah. Pulling that box out. There is something. Yeah, there's something in there. So you put it to the side for now. And once we get everything pulled out, I think that's everything. All the individual components are pulled out at this point. So we're gonna go back to the video and see if we can follow directions. All right, so it looks like we are assembling the legs and stand first. So it requires the left and right piece, and there is a middle piece that slides down in the center. And let's go ahead and reposition our camera, because now we just pull parts into the camera view. All right. Yeah, I'm not a videographer by any means. Y'all see my YouTube videos. Y'all get it how I live. I don't even edit them. So please forgive me. All right, so we're going to do our best to assemble in this area here. And whatever y'all can see, we'll make sure that what we're doing is in view. You may have to move the camera periodically, but y'all will forgive us. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble the base like they're doing on the computer door. And I'll rotate the computer here just so we can see the screen as well. All right. We're in there. All right. Get a little sip of my tea. Promise y'all this is tea. Been a long day. All right, so left, right, legs, and the centerpiece. Centerpiece is right here in front of me. Just waiting on my brother to fix his teeth. You ready? All right, so give me an idea if, let me see if I can do, I'm gonna do the video little. So that's the other way around. Okay. Maybe I'm not. Hold on. I want you to see more of what we got going on. I got a little bulky tripod here, so y'all work with me. I'm gonna try not to trip over tonight. Y'all, if I fall on camera, that'll be the first time I ever edit a video. Just for y'all. All right, now why can't I move this around and stuff? I can't move it. I can't shift this. I tell y'all what, I'm gonna take this video off and I'll watch it on my screen, because I want y'all to be able to see what we're actually putting together And of course, you can watch that video. It'll be a lot shorter than watching this one, I guarantee you. All right, so, all right, Blake, let's go ahead and put this thing together. Left and right and the centerpiece. I'm sure that this piece also tells you left and right. I'm gonna put the,
The video.
Well, when I put the video on for them, I'm watching the video, but when I make it work for them, it cuts out so much of the screen that they are missing out on what we are doing over here. So I feel like it would be more valuable for them to see what we are doing. Because I will link that video. Like I said, that video was 5 minutes long, so I guarantee I'm just removing the tape right now. I guarantee it's shorter than what we're doing over on this side. And it's got little concise instructions. Nice little lady without her country voice. Telling you exactly what to do. And they skip a lot of parts because I think I watched this a little bit before I went to sleep last night, basically. Halfway asleep after our class yesterday. I was like, boy, it looks like a lot of steps missing. But hey, I think we're pretty smart and we'll pull it together. All right, so if I can show you here, you have your lefts. That's your L for left. And you have an R for right. And it should be facing us, okay? So that the left leg and right leg respectively are in the right area. Okay? So I'm gonna hold up your side, Blake.
We're gonna need the screws and whatnot.
Okay. So well, let's slide it in first and then we'll get the screws. This is a thick old instruction book, y'all. It looked like it was gonna take 5 minutes for this video. You ready? Want me to just probably hold one side? Hold this one. Lift it up. Okay. You should be able to see a slot where it slides in. You go sliding? Oh. I might need you to lift yours up a little bit. Okay, I got it. I didn't see that whole thing going. Yeah, so we had to lift it up a little bit, and you have to get that whole metal part in there. Does it just drop down? Okay. Drop it all the way down. Alright. Woo! Well, I'm done for the night. Let's see. Keisha says Epson does not have good directions for those large format printers. You ended up having to find a manual? I'm sorry, my love. Alright, so let's see. Alright, let's see the next step. Then it shows that we're going to have to get the hex key. Okay, so now I'll tell you what, while I'm watching it, I'll split it. How about that? Then y'all can see what I'm watching. And then I'll try to remember to take it off. All right. Where are we at? That one and this one. There we go. So why can I make this one bigger? All right, so I'm adding that one to the sleeve. Don't know why this one can't be the big one. I don't know, y'all. I'm really baffled right now. All right, so we're gonna watch this part together. All right, we did that part already. Slid it to the bottom. And now we are tightening it with the hex key. 1, 2, looks like might be 3, 4 locations where we're going to tighten it with the hex key. And I'll put the hex key over there. In this bag also are some little bolts there. So I don't know if we'll need the bolts or if it already has the bolts in there, because it did say to use the bolts. We might need to get the instructions. Like, did it say to use bolts? Because some of these already have the bolts inserted in them. So this will be assembling the base of the legs. I just don't want to.
It doesn't say whether you need to put them in there or whether they already done.
Because on the video, all they did was this, and it was done.
How many bolts did they have?
Just 3. So let's just see if it looks like, see, these type of things look like it already has something in them. So let's try that. Let's see. Yeah, I feel something in there. And usually what I was taught is you don't tighten everything down at one time. You kind of do a little bit of each one so you don't strip your screws or get things misaligned. So I'm not completely tightening them all. I am just doing probably about to where I still have at least a quarter turn on each of them. And then that way, when I tighten them up, I at least ensure that I have a best stability without stripping anything. Okay? And I'm just making that up as I go along. Epson didn't tell me that. All right, Epson. That was it. So we used our hex key there. Let's see what's next. And I probably need to hear these instructions. So as long as I have the mic off for the computer. Oh, that's what it was last time. The reason why they couldn't hear the mic. Because I have to stream it separate. All right, let's stream it separate. I can't do it. So we're just going to have to not listen to the words because that's going to bother me. All right, remove the cover. We already did pretty much that part. Okay, so now we're going to get everything out of the way so that we can lift this bad boy up, and that's where the screws go. Okay. All right, so let's do that part. Boom, bam. So looks like we are going to have to move back to this other area so that we can lift the printer up as little as possible. Now that we have the stand, that stand looks kind of low. Is it? I guess the printer is pretty tall itself. So we will move the camera so that hopefully you can see this part, okay? Moving the camera. Oh, the instructions say to lock them wheels. Lock them before you move the base, or
before you put the top.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Before you put the printer on top, lock those wheels. And lock is the down, or the lock is usually the up position, but we'll make sure that we let you know that beforehand. All right, so I got as much of the printer in there as I can. And
it's the down position.
Down position is lock? Really? Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense because it's probably locked most of the time. So down position is the lock, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it over. Let's get this away. I don't want us to trip it over there. Right, and before this goes, I think to that, I don't even want to use that part. You know what I'm talking about? The catch tray, or the fabric part. So hopefully this works. Uh-oh.
We're doing this side, so we use the whole.
Looks like The camera just, oh, I thought it fell, but it's in the right position. Let me go ahead and turn off the instructions so y'all can see this part. Calm down. Alright, so we'll take out the video now. Alright. So in order to see this part, I'm gonna back it up a little bit more for you. There we go. So just unwrapping this pretty little thing. Alright, so we're gonna pick it up out of the foam and we'll go ahead and put the legs behind it. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's either gonna be my back or the video, so I think I'm gonna save my back, and they can see like. Huh?
Point the camera where we're putting it, not where we're taking it from.
We're not gonna walk this thing all the way over there.
Oh no.
Okay, we can try it and see. Bring the legs close to the printer. Reduce the amount of workload. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, all of us don't have, knees like Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, so hopefully y'all can see enough of what we're doing. So I ain't got to try to act like I'm Hercules tonight. All right. There we go. All right. Let's do it. So there are some basically like a pin, like a plastic pin that pops up that will help you know if you have it in the right place. So move that up a little bit. Is it still rolling?
Yeah.
You sure it's
It's on wood and on 2 wheels off. So it's locked. I checked it about 3 times.
All right. Get these scores out of the way so hopefully I don't bust my tail. All right, hold on. It has some instructions on the side of how to pick it up. It looks like there is an area where you can kind of cuff your hands underneath to pick it up. And we got to make sure left and right. So this is the front of so you got to make sure the front of the base aligns with the front of the printer. So don't have it twisted backwards. And it says C and D is where we pick this thing up. All right. 1, 2. Oh. 1, 2, 3. All right, hold on. We need to kick this foam out the way. I'm still holding on.
Calm down.
Well, it calmed down. My back won't calm down. Okay. Wait, I'm not done putting on it yet. I don't think I'm holding it. Oh, I'm holding the right place. Okay. Ready? Hit it. Ooh, this shit is heavy. This thing is heavy. All right, so wait a minute. Do you see the spot for yours go in? Whoa. Like,
Push it to me.
I think something just snapped on mine. Push it forward. You got it? Now come check my side. You see where it lines up though?
Nope. I don't see.
Whew. Well, this is a good lesson and a good workout today.
It shows over under. It's under. Pull it to you. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yours in place?
think so.
Shit, I need to check mine.
Slide it back and forth. Oh, you need to go back. Push it back. You see the notch right there? The notch that fit in? Right here, the black part fit into the white one.
Did it fit in? It looks like it. Okay.
I was saying, that's how you know.
Woo! Lord. Well, I hope that's the hardest thing we have to do tonight. But there is a little white part under the printer that sits inside of the same place. There's a little black part on the bottom part of the legs, and it sits inside of that. But
let me just show it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of explaining.
Well, I mean, I guess so. I guess sure.
You gotta move the camera in.
Yeah, we can go ahead and push it over there now. All right, I think I need some more than some tea right now. All right, so we're done with this palette.
Can you put the screws in it when you move it again?
That was probably a good idea to put screws in first, just so it won't shift. And I'll get rid of some of this stuff. You got it? You see where the screws go?
No.
You need me to go back to the video?
That's good.
Let's say yeah.
No, I see it.
Reverse. Yep. So it should, is it total 3 of them?
Yep.
You only gave us 3 bolts. Okay.
It's on the leg part.
Okay. Yep. And the black bracket.
Yeah. The same black tab that's on the outside to let you know it's lined up. It's on the inside. Put it together.
Okay, so the same black tab that you saw on the outside is what the bolts are going to go into. And let me see. The video does show that part, so that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and preview what's next. Alright, so now it looks like, so I have a take-up reel that I ordered. So what it's showing right now, I'm going to go ahead and let this play so that you can see what it is. It's a basket. It's going to play for a little bit. But that basket is what catches the prints. So it allows for the prints not to touch the floor. It'll catch in the basket. I have a take-up reel that I want to install. I don't know if it's going to get installed tonight, especially given that, you know, it's kind of late and stuff. But I'll probably install that. And I won't install this at all because I believe the take-up reel is going to be in the way of that. So that's all you really need to install the printer itself. Now, before when I had this printer, I did have the basket on there. And the reason why I got the take-up reel is because the take-up reel will continually roll up the prints, and I was doing a lot of prints in a row. So the basket is good for like a few prints at a time, but either you just need a long amount of clean floor that the paper can just pile up and kind of fold up on, or you need your take-up reel that will wind it up in a roll. And I decided to do take-up reel. So hopefully, if that's not too difficult, because it didn't come with any instructions, well, any video instructions anyway. So I would have to read to see that with her. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move the printer into the larger area. Go ahead and remove all this tape and whatnot. And I have a little stage now, so you know, if I start singing and treating this like the Apollo, y'all know what time it is. Probably sleepy time because that means I'm being goofy. All right, so let me go ahead and get ready to move this camera to position. So you want to go ahead and move it over before we move all the tape so we can show that part? All right, so unlocking the wheels right now so we can move it out of the way. Let's go ahead and close these while we're moving it just in case. All right, ready? Let's kind of put it a little bit for the angle. Pull it out a little bit. There we go. That way we'll be right up another light. So these. All right. Now I do not have on spurs. I have on these. I thought I was gonna be cute with not wearing my house shoes, and I got on these slides with jewels all over them. So if y'all hear that sound, I don't have on spurs. I'm not booting, scooting, boogieing, but y'all hear me. All right, so before we get to the rest, that was all paper tray. Well, shoot, if that's it, then that's it, because we're not going to install that part. All right, so let me go ahead and make that smaller. You don't need that anymore. All right, so let's see. I want y'all to be able to see Big Baby. Ooh, we're going to have to name her. All right, let's see. What else do we have to do? Y'all see that good? And I'll even bring it closer so we can see inside and everything. We'll probably have to open it up. All right. Go ahead and turn my computer where I can see. Yeah, I have my laptop on wheels too. So if y'all remind me, some of y'all wanted to see my little laptop setup. So if y'all remind me, I'll show y'all real quick. Before we, well, yeah, I'll show y'all right now. It's on a rolling desk. So this is my laptop setup. Rolling desk, and it has these little clip-on monitors. So these clips, I bought 2 sets of them. These monitors are literally just little panels, and I clip them onto my laptop so that everywhere I go, I can have 1, 2, 3 monitors. This is my laptop underneath here. I just have a real keyboard sitting on top of it. And all this is that little stuff that keeps stuff from sliding around in your cabinets, because I don't want my keyboard sliding off. My mouse pad, my Sublimation mouse pad. And then the desk itself is a rolling desk. So this is my little setup when I'm not using the desktop computer. And honestly, I've been spoiled because I've been using this instead of my desktop setup. And it's been pretty good to me. All right, so back to the printer. And let me go back up just a little bit. You all see the full printer? And whenever you can't see the printer, y'all let me know in the comments and we'll adjust, okay? All right. So now we're in position to go ahead and turn things on. I'm gonna go back to the video. There we go. Let's see what we need to do. Of course, we need to plug it in. See, it didn't even show you to plug in the power cable. It just told you to hit the power button. So obviously, skip the little step. We're gonna go ahead and plug in the cable. Oh yeah, let's remove the tape. Let's do that part. Okay. So we shall go ahead and show you where we see tape. Now the tape is usually blue for Epson. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. And they usually have one side of it folded down to make it pretty easy to remove. So everywhere I see blue tape, that's what I'm going for. And make sure you lift all of the doors and everything, because a lot of times they'll have tape connecting things under these little trap doors, or even on a lot of the moving mechanisms. So you just have to check even inside. I don't see any tape inside of this one, but if I see some, I'll let you know. Alright, so we have some here on the door. This is the door where the leads go. And I think Blake removed some tape earlier. So that looks to be it. If I see some more, I'll let you know as we go along. Sometimes you'll see it as you set it up. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And let's plug in the power. I got the power. Y'all like my sound effects? All right. So there is somewhere, will be on right here on this side. I am plugging in the power cable to the side. This is also where you would plug in your printer data cable. And I have a printer data cable over here on this other computer as well. And I'm going to use this little extension over here. All right. So I'm going to bring the camera a little closer now, so we should be able to read the. Let's see. What you want to see? To be able to read this thing. So hopefully we will get what we need out of this. All right, so we haven't hit the on button yet, but that's what it told me to do next. I should have read the instructions because I don't trust this video, and I'm real finicky about how I turn the printer on after I almost messed up my was it the 15,000 or the 16,650? I think it was the 15,000. I was supposed to do something before I even turned it on. I think I was supposed to fill up the ink before I even turned it on. Some rule that was in the instructions. How dare they? And I almost messed my junk up. But I was able to fix it. All right, so now I am going to, let me see what's next on this video. Choose a language. Language. We're going to choose English. Okay. And it tells me to set the date and time. It is now, what is it? 3/4 is the date. Like you have the time on? 10/19. This thing is kind of crazy because it was almost the exact time and date. Huh? Mm. Right. Okay. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK to proceed. Now you can tell it the unit length, whether you want to do meters or feet. And because this is America, we're going to do feet and inches. Now it says no ink cartridges. Install the ink cartridges. So this is the fun part. We actually have to prep our cartridges. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break to make sure. We're going to go ahead and prep cartridges over in this area. And I'm just going to make sure that I have everything with me. So y'all give me just a moment. I probably need to go get some gloves and just make sure that we have everything in place. So I'm literally going to take like a 3-minute break. Y'all go get you some water, some chips or something, and we'll go ahead and work this on out. All right, love. So we'll be back in just a moment. So give me 3 to 5 minutes, okay? I'm still going to keep this same live going because I don't want to risk shutting it down, okay? See y'all in a bit. There we go. Let me know if you can hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me. Escape here so I can see the comments here. All right. Thank you, Backhouse 5 West. I appreciate it. This is our baby number 2. Our baby number 1, I ended up selling it because I was moving and I didn't want to transport it. So this is number 2, and it took me like, it's literally been sitting in the box for almost 3 months now. So I figured this was a good opportunity because so many of you are interested in doing the format printing. Thought this was a good opportunity to show you the setup, kind of touch base with you about how much all these different things are, what it takes to convert it. So before I do any work, I'm going to show you what it takes to convert. If you notice these big jugs of ink here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, those are the large format Pro inks, okay? Now these bigger bottles, we sell these as well. People do use this ink in the large format printers, and it works really well. But this is the ink that is meant for the 13 by 19 Epson printers, and it's a little bit different ink formulation. The Pro inks are designed to go with the print head for the wide format ink, so it can get a lot more rich and vivid results. And I'm going to show you a little example here for this shirt. So this is one that I did for the Oliver class that we did together. I want you to see this front side is the desktop ink, okay? And I have this just here on a little cardboard so you can see flat what it looks like. And these colors are true. You have your vibrant pinks here. I'm sorry, the lighting over on this area is horrible. You have your black, your true blacks. It's not a green tint, it's not a red tint to them. You have real blues, so they're not blurples, they're not blue purples. And I know that's what a lot of people are worried about. But, excuse me, when I flip it over, same settings with the wide format printer, the colors are a lot more, a lot deeper. So they look deeper embedded into the fibers of the shirt, which makes them appear more vibrant. That has something to do with the paper for the professional printers. It also has something to do with the print head for the wide format printers. So this setup is still amazing results, whether you use the big bottles here or you use the Pro ink. You can use either one of those for the large format printer, but I'm going to highly suggest the Pro ink because it is just that good looking, okay? Let's set that over there to the side. Excuse me, I promise it's not the Rona. All right. The other thing I want to show you, when you convert these, it will come with 2 maintenance cards, okay? That's what this is. Now, what this does is this catches your ink, but it gets filled up and you have to periodically change these out. So you have a maintenance card, which usually you'll know ahead of time whether you need to replace these. But I suggest before you even convert a printer, just go ahead and have 2 on backup. So if you go to the whole conversion kit right now on innatelab.com, and I'll show you that, it suggests that you go ahead and get 2 of these, okay? So your printer is going to come with 2, and you'll have 2 on backup on standby just in case you need it in a hurry. And you know how that goes where you're always doing some last minute project and something always happens at the last moment. All right, so we may end up having to install those. The other thing are the cartridges. So I showed you the ink, the Pro inks. These are the cartridges, and each cartridge has a designated color. All right, so you can't just interchange these, much like the smaller printers. All right, so this one is my MK, which is the matte black. And this printer has 2 blacks. It has an MK and a PK. MK stands for matte black. PK stands for photo black. And I'm just going to remove this from the packaging here. And you'll see this is actually how it gets inserted into the printer. It has a fill hole here, and then this is the air port. And then you have right here in the back, this is where we're going to actually prime it. So we're going to pull ink from back there. So I want you to think of this as two ways. You feed it here. All right, so you feed it here. This burps it, so that's why you want to leave it open for air. And then this is where you kind of have to do, let's call it like a little enema, if that makes sense to you. Because if you don't do the enema, if you don't pull the air out of the system, and it will pull some ink with it, you'll end up with air in your lines, okay? And that's the worst way to start off a brand new printer, with air in the lines. So we are going to show you that whole process. And anything else before I get ink all over my hands. And this is what I do too. I use my boxes because this cartridge has this ridge on the bottom, so it does not easily stand up. I'm going to use my boxes here to kind of sandwich it and make it stand up. That's that good old PhD engineering put to use. I hope y'all can sense my sarcasm. I use my PhD to make t-shirts all the time. All right, so let me know if my hands are in the way or anything is in the way, you can't see something, and I will clarify the view for you. Let me go grab my tea real quick. Or it's just not hot anymore. Uh-oh, was that a can hear me or a can't hear me? I'm just not seeing those notes. I'm guessing y'all would have told me by now. I would have seen like 30 people say that y'all can hear me by now if I was still talking. Okay, you are here now. Perfect, perfect. All right, so before I get started, I'm going to show you a couple more things. These are the big syringes. You don't need big syringes. I'm just using them because I'm not by a sink or anything, or where I want to have a lot of liquid in cups and pouring things into it. So I'm going to use one of these big boys. And as a matter of fact, let me grab something where once I'm done, I can put it down and I don't have to worry about it messing up anything. I'm going to go grab some paper towels. All right. And we'll just put these off to the side till we need them. All right, and then the other thing I need are funnels, because these, we don't use these. We don't use a syringe to fill them up. We straight up pour these. So those of you who hate filling up with syringes will love this process. We have to make sure we have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just to let you know, the chips. So you know how you have the resettable chips or the auto reset chips? These chips are not automatically reset. What you have to do every time Epson tells you, hey, your cartridge is run out, get a new cartridge, you don't actually replace the cartridge, you just replace this chip here. Okay, so I just want to let you know that these chips, we sell them as well. So that's why I suggest when you buy a new kit that, yes, the cartridges come with the chip, but go ahead and get yourself another set of chips so that you have them on standby. The last thing that you want is to be ready to print and Epson tell you your cartridge needs to be replaced and you have to wait for one of these to come in, okay? The smallest little parts, like the maintenance tank, these little chips can give you the hardest time. All right, so that's where the chip goes. And then I also want you to know these little tips here are special for the large format. So you have to have this tip in order to convert a regular needle to the enema needle. And y'all are going to forever have that ingrained in your head now. I don't know why I even drew that analogy, but You will forever understand that you have to do the enema before you put this into the system, okay? Or you will have air in your lines. We'll mess up your system, all right? So let's do it. I'm going to leave the air plug plugged in just so that I don't lose this piece. And I'm going to pull out the fill plug, okay? So that's the fill hole. It's big, okay? That's the little air hole. That's where we allow it to breathe. And this is where we're going to prime from. Okay, and I will continually remind y'all throughout this process. All right, so let's go on and start with our funnel. Place it there, and like I said, I like to put something side by side. I don't want this thing doing the whoop-de-whoop and then spilling all over my setup. Okay, so let's go ahead and do MK. So we see MK on the front of the cartridge. We're going to look for MK. The bottle. I do shake it up a little bit, agitate it a little bit. Anything pigmented, I do that with just to be safe. And then I'm going to break the seal here. And let's see, I may need like a knife or something to get this off, especially being that I have gloves on. But let's see if I can peel it off without needing a knife. I can, but it's taking too long. Let me grab an X-Acto knife, or an Alpha blade is what I like to use. And I am just puncturing the foam here, and I'm just gonna give myself a little spin around there. And have your paper towels handy because this might be a little messy. I should have just cut all the way around. And I'm just being fancy because I have gloves on. Normally, I don't do gloves, and then I'm a lot more careful because I don't want to get ink all over my hands. But I'm showing out. I'm showing out for the tube. All right. And I really didn't have much ink on myself. Let's do this. All right, so I was trying to get fancy and show my label, but I just need to do what I need to do this right-handed so I don't try to show off. I'm trying to show my label and then I'm gonna end up showing my tail. So let's just go ahead and pour. Make sure y'all can see. Yep, you can see. And I'll show you in just a moment how far you want to fill it up, where you want to stop. I'm just going to go ahead and pour until I get to the spot, and then I'll put it in the camera to show you where to stop. Now this cartridge is a 700 milliliter cartridge. All right, so I'm good right there. I'm going to go ahead and close up my ink. That's my MK. All right, and then, like, can you grab me like a paper plate or something that I can lay this on? I don't have to worry about it going through the napkin.
Paper plate, or you want some parchment paper?
Paper plate. It'll kind of hold it. All right, so we're just going to trust that that doesn't bleed all the way through that napkin, so I'm going to double it up. All right, so let's show you here. I feel it. This one should be good. Thank you. All right, so I fill it up to here. We can go a little bit higher, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull the, because you can go all the way to the top of this. However, I think I'm going to pour a little bit more because I'm going to go to about half of here. So let me give it a little bit more. And I just do that because if Epson feels like this is going to be empty, Epson is almost always wrong when you have refillable cartridges because you have much more ink in there than the traditional Epson cartridges. So I'm just pouring it slowly because what happens, that last little line, you have to bypass this little reservoir in the front. So you have to do it, pour a little more slowly. Okay, up. I messed up. I went a little too above that line. trying to show out. Next time, I'm just gonna stop a little bit above that line. I know the limits, and I push the limits all the time. I do this with my prints. I try to make my prints all super big, and then I end up cutting off one of my letters and having to reprint it because I'm always trying to go big or go home. And a lot of times I'm just going home. All right, so let me teach y'all the right way. All right, so see how I was able to get it to go a little bit above that, about halfway above that. Just stop right above that line. Don't try to do like I did and get macho. Because all I'm doing right now is just cleaning up a little bit of the ink that puddled up here. You don't want these things nasty. Last thing you want is some dried up ink somewhere. If you think of clogged artery, that's exactly what happens inside of your print heads, and that can happen inside of your lines. So you want to just keep it as clean as possible. Anytime we spill a little ink, just go ahead and handle it at that very moment. All right. There we go. And I'm still using my boxes there to kind of prop everything up. All right. So let's close it up. All right, so we want to have both of these closed now because we're getting ready to do the enema. We're getting ready to prime it, okay? So we have both the air hole and the fill hole plugged. And in order to get my syringe ready, the syringe comes like this. You just pop on the adapter. And I'm going to see which is the best angle to do this. Y'all see that? Maybe I'll even prop it up a little bit. There we go. Just trying to tilt this up a little bit so you can see what's going on. And bringing it a little bit closer. Hopefully that focus is there for you. All right. I'm going to take the needle. Make sure there's no air. So if it's pulled out even just a little bit, go ahead and push it all the way in. No air's in there. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm actually going to press the tip inside. You'll feel a little pressure. Don't worry about it. That's what you're supposed to feel. That pressure lets you know that you're in there and sealed. And let me see if I can show you from the side here without this thing tipping over. All right, so I'm holding it steady. I'm also going to hold the needle here, and I'm just going to pull. I'm pulling air. You see how there's no ink, and then a little ink comes out. Okay? Little ink comes out. And I don't even care if a lot of ink comes out. I'd rather pull out a lot of air with a lot of ink than have a lot of air sitting in there thinking that, oh, we're going to save a couple of milliliters of ink. Okay? Now I'm going to pull out the tip there, and I'll show you. I just pulled out about 25 milliliters of ink, and I can put this right back in my bottle. Some people even put it right back in the cartridge, but I'm going to leave it alone because, like I said, I think I kind of overdid it anyhow. And then I'm going to put this right back in my MK. All right, so that was priming the cartridge. Gets the air out. All right, now we're done with the MK. Once I get ready to install it, I do have to remove the air vent. So I may have somebody remind me to remove this one, the air vent. I'm going to keep it closed up right now just because I'm going to go ahead and go through all of these, and then we will insert them together. So there is MK. Let's do magenta next. And usually this is what I do. I work from the lightest first, so I start with yellow. And the reason why is because if you happen to get like a little bit, let's say you had to use the same, some people use one syringe, right? And they'll start with yellow and go from yellow to magenta, then to cyan, then to black. And they do that, and it does mix a little ink up, but they feel like it's okay because you're pretty much going from lightest to darkest color, and it's not such a big deal. I just prefer and I ship you all individual needles just so that you don't have to stop. And most people try to clean them out and that sort of thing. Now, when I'm done, I do clean them all out and I do reuse them. Absolutely. Let's see, we're going to remove the fill hole for the yellow. And if you notice, there's a little bag in there. I don't know if you can see that. See, depending on the angle you see, there's basically some plastic in there. So when you're pulling the air out, you're basically like creating a vacuum seal. You're creating the plastic and the ink to kind of be very close together and the air to be removed from the system, so that when the tubes are pulling the ink from your cartridge, it's not pulling the air with it. Okay, so you're trying to remove as much air as possible before you start using these babies. Okay, and you normally, once you remove the air, you don't have to do it again. Even if I'm refilling, if I refill these cartridges, I normally don't do another prime. But now that I'm just kind of cautious with these printers, I don't ever want to dry out my print heads and have air bubbles and that sort of thing. I have started recently just priming it every single time. Like I do that with my small Epsons, my 707010s and 20s. I will actually prime every single time, even though I still have ink in my circle. If you know about my cartridges, you know I have like a little circle on there. And that circle lets you know if it has ink in it, it lets you know that it is primed and good to go. I still prime it again. All right, so I'm going to put this here so we can see. Looks good. Let's go yellow and let's grab us a funnel. This is the other reason why I say go with the lighter color first, because even with the blade, the way this blade was, I used black first. That means that I actually put black on my blade, which means I have to make certain that I don't mix my colors. Now this is, again, large format printing, so a little tiny bit of black on that blade that might have mixed with the yellow is probably not a huge deal, but you just don't want to take that chance if you don't have to. So I'm mixing it there. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and use my blade here. And I'm going to clean the blade as soon as I do that, just so I don't make a mistake and mix up colors or anything. And this time I'm just going to press this down because I'm not going to remove this whole thing and get my hands super dirty. All right, let's do it. Let's see if I can pour with my left hand so I can get fancy with y'all. And this time I'm gonna turn it to the side so you can see how far it goes when it fills up. All right, let's do it. Come on, left hand. Show them what you're working with. There we go. Let's say good stuff. All right, when I approach this line, I'm going to go a little farther than this line, and then I'm going to chill out. There we go. And I still did. Oh, I know what it is. This table is at a little angle, so we're putting more ink to the front than to the back, so it takes a little while for it to catch up. All right, so I'm gonna I'm just gonna go ahead and screw my cap on, because knowing me, I'll knock that boy right on over. So I'm gonna remove the funnel. Like I said, I do wash those out afterwards. I reuse them. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my little spit up there. Make sure everything is nice and neat. No ink spillage, no little dried up ink in those corners. like to keep my cartridges looking fresh and neat. If I can avoid a messy print setup, then that is a setup for me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Make sure my air vent is plugged up as well. I'm going to turn it around. And I have a syringe with the tip on it already ready. Let me go ahead and turn it around so I can show you all. I will insert with that little pressure relieved, and then I'm going to turn it to the side so you can see how it pulls. All right, I'm going to turn it to where I can see the numbers. And yellow should be pretty easy to see. I'm holding the cartridge, and I'm also holding the syringe with my left hand, and then I'm going to pull. So when I got to about 5, that's when I saw ink come out, and you want to keep pulling. Because if you stop, it will pull back. I'm going to go to about 25 again, and then I'll let go. And I should have told you that the first time. If you let go, it will pull a little bit of ink back in there, and that's how you know it's ready. If you don't get that pull back, so it's kind of pulling it back, that resistance is kind of pulling it back, pulling the ink back in. That's how I know I have air out of the line. Okay, I can pull that out now. And return my ink. So that time I pulled out about 20. And I'll keep my syringes here too, because if anything happens, let's say I do have a little air in the line because I may not have pulled out as much air as I should have, then I'll need to prime it again. So I keep my syringes ready. I don't let them dry out or anything, but I keep them ready. All right, so yellow's done. I'm going to move on to magenta next. So let's pull magenta out. All right. So again, we have our fill area. Pull that out. And let's go ahead and place this to where you can see it again from the side. I think I like how you can see that. And how I can see it. It was easier for me to see. And everything is color coded. So every once in a while you make a silly mistake, but most of the time you see the colors, you see the letters that go with the colors, the C, M, Y, and in this case we have a PK and an MK. You can't really mess up, and if you do, you'll pretty much just have to get you another cartridge, because the cartridges are not interchangeable color-wise. All right, so clean that blade off, get me a new paper towel, so I'll mix some colors there. Paper towel ready, just in case. And let's do this. I'm surprised I did not get any ink on me this time. Let me stop before I jinx myself. All right, let me pull it a little closer. I'm gonna twist this out of the way. Funnels in place. And nope, I'm gonna grab it this way. Had a little up with my left hand. Am I ambidextrous? Okay. All right. I'm gonna pour this slowly, because if you notice that reservoir tends to fill up first, especially when you get to that final little line. So as you can see, I kind of have this table is at an angle. So it's even filling up quicker in that front area. So I have to be very slow and pay attention when I'm getting to that top line. There it goes. I saw it fill up first. Give it a little time, let the air bubbles kind of die down. All right. So I guess I'm just going until I start seeing the stuff bubble up at the top. All right, so I'm not going to tighten it up all the way yet because I want to be able to one-handedly unscrew that. So I just put it on just in case I tip this over, but I did not screw it tightly yet because you're going to be using one hand to put that ink back in when you're done. All right, funnel off to the side. I'm going to split this napkin in half. I feel like I'm using up too many napkins. Let's go ahead and clean that. You see those little bubbles there? I'm trying to tilt this too much because I have more than a bubble mess. I have an ink spill. So I'm cleaning those little bubbles up, getting that out the way. All right, make sure it's nice and neat. Get in those corners, those crevices. And make sure I don't have any other ink on my hand or my gloves. Go ahead and close up our fill hole. Make sure I get it seated in there good. And let's turn it around and get ready to prime it. New syringe with the tip adapter. Insert it. Feel the pressure when you push it in. I'm going to turn it to the side now so you can see. I'm going to hold it, pull 5 milliliters again. Once I get to around about 15, I'm going to let go. You see how I pull back? And then I can pull a little bit more to that 20. Let go. And now it's good because it's not even pulling anymore. It's good. So I'll say about 20 milliliters. Some of them might have to do a little bit more. The black I ended up doing 25. And let's see, I was saying you have to unscrew with one hand, so keep that light. Let's go ahead and pour the ink back into the bottle so we can save that. All right. And this one is ready to be placed inside of the printer. So we have 2 more to go. Let's go ahead and put our cap on Magenta. Put that up. And let's see, what else did we have? We did Magenta, now let's do Cyan. Okay. Cyan, where are you? I think you're hiding over here behind the paper towels. Here we go. So there's Cyan. See how everything's color coded. So, open. All right, so we know the drill now. We'll open the fill hole. And you might need to just twist that a little bit just so that it hangs there and doesn't try to flip back up into place. All right, we got it propped up here with our boxes. We're gonna grab our Cyan here. Sublimation, True Colors. Y'all go to the innatelab.com. You can also go to truecolorsinc.com, but Innate Lab is where you're going to find the templates. You'll find ink. Now this one's a little hard to twist off. There we go. You'll find blanks. All of this good stuff. And then we also have the Academy. So y'all make sure you check out the Academy if you're trying to learn. Well, not trying to. If you are wanting, because we're not trying over here, we're doing. If you're wanting to learn Photoshop, or maybe just get a little bit better, or be able to use the templates and some of the effects that I use, know my trade secrets, then come on over to Innate Academy. And Erica, if you will post those links for Innate Lab and Innate Academy, if you're still here and you're not sleepy by now, that way folks know where to get the sublimation kits. I have them for the small printers. See those over in the corner? Those are the 127 milliliter bottles. Those go for the Epson small printers, the medium format printers, and also the EcoTank printers. So you can convert pretty much any Epson with those inks. And I'm talking about the 8.5 wide printers, 13-inch printers, even the 17-inch printers. And then the Pro ink is what I recommend for the wide format printers. All right. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me, because I am able to look at the chat now while I'm doing this. All right, so I'm pouring the Cyan now. I'm going to be very careful, slow, and watch that top reservoir. When that top reservoir fills up too fast, it will bubble over and it will spill from your funnel insert area. And this doesn't take that long, especially once you have this set up. Refilling them, usually it won't take this long because it won't actually be empty. Epson just thinks it's empty, or wants you to think it's empty. Now this time, I'm actually going to tilt this cartridge up a little bit, because I feel like because the table is at an angle, that's why I keep having that issue. Yeah, that's what it was. All right, so this time I didn't get the little spill bubbles. All right. So I was able to get it up there without the spill bubbles, and I believe that's because, like I said, my table's at an angle here. All right, so we're done with the Cyan. I'm still going to wipe around here because, like I said, I don't want any type of residue anywhere. I don't want anything to dry up and drop down in there and try to eventually go through my tubing and go through my print heads. This is one of those ones you want to take care of. All right, so let's go ahead and close that up. Y'all know what's next. We are going to prime it, aka do the enema. All right. Let's put that in there. They're good. I'll turn it to the side so you can see again. And I'll turn it to where you can see the milliliters. And let's do it. Let's pull. See how far we get before ink starts coming out. We're at about 5 again. And I'm going to get it to 15 because I feel a little resistance here already. So I'm going to get it to 15. I'm going to let it go. I noticed it pulled a little bit. And then I'm going to pull it some more. 20. Let it go. Perfect. All right. That comes out pretty easy. And we'll set that down while I put the ink back in the container. I'm good. One more, just one more. Let's go ahead and close that. And the last one we have to do is the PK, I believe. Photo black. That's MK. Here's PK. Let's go ahead and move Cyan out of the way. And PK is the last man standing. Let's get it. Little nephew, would you like to put that in the trash for me? Yeah. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to bring my box back, Now you have to be a little careful because once all of these boxes are empty, they don't have the same staying power, but it will still give you some stability when you're holding these up. Just pay attention and be careful. All right, let's remove the fill hole there. And this one, the PK. And feel that little click and snap. Here's our blade. It's the last time we have to do this, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and clean my blade off. All right. Funnel. Check. And let's make sure that we are in position. And let's go ahead and pour. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to turn it the other way. I don't know why I didn't think of this before I started pouring. So the issue that we had before with it running at the downward angle, now we should have the opposite effect. We're still going to take our time here. And tonight, once we get this thing set up, I'm going to pick a random person who will receive some free prints. So once I set this thing up, we'll get some prints out. We might be able to, ooh, I'm just talking and pouring. See, this is why I can't multitask, y'all. All right, but at least it didn't bubble up on me because it's going at a different angle now. All right, so let's go ahead and remove that funnel. And then I'm going to clean up. This one is very, very neat because we didn't have it going down at an angle. So we had literally almost nothing to clean up. Okay. Grab this for me, put that in the trash. Thank you. All right. Let's close that up. And let's not forget to prime. And you do want to have ink, you know, good and in here. You don't want to prime with an empty or a near empty cartridge. So if you did have an issue with air in your system, put more ink in it and then prime it, okay? All right, so let's do this. Insert and turn it to wherever you can see the numbers. I'm going to pull until I start seeing some ink come through. Pull to 15. See this one? I think the blacks just kind of, for some reason, seem like they pull more ink. And I think it's a setup because they want you to use more black ink anyway. I feel like good resistance at 25 when I do the blacks. And then I let it go, and it ends up at around about 22. All right, so we put those there to hold it up. Release my ink back into the wild. There we go. And it felt like that. Wanted to take my tip there for a second. All right, so that was the hard part. That was the most time-consuming part. That took longer than putting the printer together. So let's make sure now we have to get things to where we test the print heads, make sure that everything is printing well. And I don't know why I still have these gloves on. I'll keep them here just in case I have to do any more ink work. Matter of fact, should be good on that. And let's come back to the printer now. And we'll go back to what the printer's reading at this moment. Let's pull it down, see if y'all can see that. And you may not be able to see it right now. I can't zoom in while I'm doing this. Oh, I can. I lied to y'all. Okay, it's probably not legible though, but I can do a little zoomage. Yep. It says, I'm going to read it to you. No ink cartridges, install ink cartridges. So that's what we are about to do next. And I think I'm going to go from the right to left just to kind of keep it in order. It won't let you put the wrong cartridges in the inappropriate slot, so don't worry about that. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see what I'm working on. And this is the ink door here. Let's go ahead and open that. And it says inserts cartridge to all slots and close the cartridge cover. So let's just follow the directions. Now we do have to make sure that we remove the air vent. We're going to go with PK first. Great, because that's the one I just filled up last. We're going to remove the air vent there. It's a little tough, but you heard it come out, and then we're just going to leave it hanging there. Right? And then we're going to slide that into the respective spot. And the reason why I like to go left to right is so that you don't miss and push it into the wrong area. And then to pull them out, you just stick your finger in here, pull it out. So if you want to make sure you push it in right, put your finger in there, push it in, and see how that X went away. All right, so next is MK. Let's make sure that we pull out our air vent. All right. And we'll place it in the track, put our finger in position, push it in. We notice that X went away. Next is Magenta. Let's grab Magenta, pull out the air vent, or the air vent plug. Saw that. Magenta went away. Let's do yellow next. Same old thing. Let's pull out the air vent plug. Insert that. All right, and finally the cyan. Pull out the air plug vent and place that one. And before I touch anything else, I'm making sure I did not forget to pull out my air plug vent from any cartridge. And now I'm going to close the door. Now I do believe that the initialization of charging the ink can take quite some time. So I'm going to let this charge, and I'm going to go ahead and preview the rest of the video, see what we're working with. When you did that part and set up the time, we set up the unit of measurement. And these are the refillable cartridges. So these are not Epson cartridges nor Epson ink. This is True Colors cartridges and True Colors ink from the Innate Lab website. And oh, it's showing the paper loading now. Let me go ahead and tell y'all a little tip that I learned about these printers. You will want to know this information. The typical roll length that you find is going to usually be 250 to 300 feet in length, which is a very heavy roll. I find myself having to unroll about, I wouldn't say half of it, but basically when you get the 250 to 300 foot roll, it's so heavy that it pulls itself out of the the roll holder. Okay, it will literally pull it off the track and then mess up your prints and possibly even mess up your printer in the long run. So you have to either get smaller rolls, which are usually more expensive and not worth it to get smaller rolls, or you can get the larger rolls. Just go ahead and roll up some of the paper off of it so that you basically have a backup roll. All right. So that's my suggestion for you if you're going to do this large format printing with this printer setup. Usually I like for it to have 200 feet or less. Anything more than that can pull, the paper pulls too hard and it ends up jumping off the roller. Okay. And you gotta let it do its thing there. We'll come and see if y'all have any questions or anything, because that's pretty much it for the ink setup. I'm gonna pull back on over here. See if y'all have any questions for me. I'm just gonna roll my computer over so it'll be easier. So y'all can see the printer and I can talk to y'all. I can chat. And some of y'all probably aren't chatting right about now because y'all are ready for bed. One of the next things, and something that I can go ahead and get ready, honestly, is that's what I'll do. While this is going, I know that it's going to take a little while to charge this. I will go ahead and do the installation of the driver and show you how to get to that, because I don't have a CD-ROM reader. Well, I do in my older desktop computer, but I don't have it hooked up. So I'm going to show you how to get that and go ahead and get that set up for your computer. And then I also show you what my default settings are, what my Photoshop settings are, so we could be on the same page with that. So at computer number 3 now, so I'm going to go ahead and let that one show screen. Alright, so now you see the printer's doing its thing over here. I doubt you're really seeing the settings in here. It says it is at 23% and it is charging the ink right now. So we're going to let it do its thing. Meanwhile, let me know if you all can hear me, because my camera's a little further from me now. So if necessary, I'll come. Bring the camera over to this area. Let's see. I'll bring it closer to me so you can hear me better. And I'll give it, it's not like you can see what that thing is saying anyway. So I will give you updates to let you know what's going on, what it's saying over there, okay? All right, so right now, y'all don't need to see me. So I'm going to make my screen large here. So let's see, I'll make it this one. And let me know if you can hear. Okay, y'all already let me know you can hear me. Woo. What's up, Tanya? Let's see. All right, so what I'm doing at this moment, I'm actually working on my big screen. Coming over here, I'm going to F11 to get out of full screen here. And this is the Innate Lab website. So for those of you who've never visited, please check us out. I'm going to show you a few things that I was talking about tonight. The templates are Photoshop. I do have some Affinity templates, but they're majority Photoshop, and I also teach Photoshop. If you look at the top, it says Innate Academy. We have an academy that is specifically for those who want to learn how to do the same type of designs and how to work with the way that I design things. A lot of the classes, most of them come with free templates. They come with understanding some very advanced techniques, but very beginner friendly. So I make sure that everyone that attends the academy, by the end of class, as long as you stick through class, you have a final product that you can then print or even just mock up and make money off of by the end of class. Okay, so at the end of your 3-hour class session, you have a money maker. All right, that's my job. Now, I also want to show you, this is where you can go to purchase the kit that I'm doing tonight, as well as the kits for these 7710s, 20s, and all the desktop Epson printers. So here is where I wanted to show you what all can come with the kit. You don't have to purchase, like I was saying, these 2 maintenance tanks. You have 2 that come with your inside of your printer, but as soon as those run out, you don't want to wait in order to order these. So I just tell you to go ahead and get your 5 sets of ink. You will have about 300 milliliters of ink left after you fill up your cartridges. So your cartridges are 700 milliliters. So you'll have about a good half a tank left of ink. So when you realize that you're getting to half of your cartridge life, go ahead and order you another set of chips and another set of ink. Okay, that way you're never running out. I also suggest that you order a set of chips whenever you initially order, just so that you have them on standby. Just put them somewhere where you know you're going to remember. And of course, the cartridges, you're going to need 5 of those. And the cartridges will come with, like we saw today, it'll come with the syringes, it'll come with the special tips, and then it will come with the 5 funnels as well. And that's your kit. And you can build the kit here. Let's say you don't want to get the chips right now. You can remove them from here. If you don't want to get the 2 maintenance tanks right now, you can remove them from here. And then whatever you want to get, you can keep here for the kit and go ahead and add it to cart, check out, and you have your conversion kit. And it's really simple. I know conversion sounds difficult. It sounds like we're doing something super fancy, but literally what we're doing is we're filling up refillable cartridges and putting them inside of a machine. That's it. Okay. So back in the day when you had to convert things, sometimes you had to change out the lines because it wasn't intended for a certain type of ink. So you had to do all that stuff. This, literally, all you're doing are filling up cartridges. And my first printer, I used the standard Epson ink first. And I had to wait basically to push all of that out in order to work the sublimation ink through. And eventually it's all sublimation ink. But I don't suggest doing that. If I had to do it all over again, which I did for this one, I would suggest just straight up use the sublimation ink and then save your Epson cartridges just in case like anything happens and you have to have them checked, and you pop those Epson ink cartridges in there while they're checking if you need any kind of warranty work. All right. So just wanted to run down where that was, and let's see if we can find. Let me use the keyboard here. I have all these different setups going on right now. All right. We're just going to do a Google search right now for Epson. Well, I thought my keyboard was working. Let me turn it on. All right. Epson T7270. We're going to look up the driver. Okay, we want to make sure that it takes us to the official Epson page, okay? Because there'll be a lot of places where you can download drivers, and I'm sure you can download a lot more than drivers from those sites. So this looks about right. See, that one says drivers.epson.com. I don't think so. I'm going to go to epson.com. just to be safe, because these things right here, it'll put the name Epson in there, and I don't trust them. So that very well could be Epson's website, but I'm not going to trust it. I'll go to Epson.com and find it. Oh, it's going. It's just taking a little time. I have a lot of things running right now. I have 3 devices streaming to the StreamYard right now. So hopefully we're going to be all right tonight. And while it's taking its time on the internet, what is it taking this much time? Maybe if I click one more time. There we go. I'm an impatient clicker. So let's see, we are 55% done with charging the ink. So we're making good time. Here we go. So we're in the downloads here. For the ICC profiles, there is no ICC profile for Sublimation ink for 7270. And I even thought that if I purchased the Wausau rip, that I was going to be able to find something for that, and I kind of wasted that money. But I realized when I print from Photoshop, and I will show you my exact settings that I use from Photoshop, I get really good results. All right, so I'm going to downloads. Here we go. Drivers. Now, what I do initially, I do download the drivers and utilities combo package just because I want to make sure I have everything that it was supposed to have on there. And then if I find something that's just a messy program that I don't need, I will delete it later. So I'm going to go to download here. And this is why you want to make sure you're on the official Epson site. I don't want you to download anything from anywhere else. And then also make sure you choose the right operating system here. Windows 10, I believe Photoshop now is requiring Windows 10 for all of the updated Photoshops. So I'm going to save it here to my downloads folder. And it should tell me whether I need to have the printer connected before it goes through certain steps. So if it tells me I need to have the printer connected, I will wait for it to finish initializing before I plug in the printer, because I don't want it to, cause any confusion with the system. All right, so it looks like we're done there. We can go ahead and click on the file. And I'm getting a little message now that asks me if I want Epson to, or if I want to allow this app to make changes to my device. I'm going to say yes. All right, and let me bring this over to the screen so you can see it. This file contains everything you need to use your Epson SureColor. This works for the T7270, 5270, which the 3270 is a 24-inch printer. The 5270 is a 36-inch printer. I just recently posted a deal, a steal of a deal for the 5270 for those of you who may want to go with the 36-inch printer. This one that I'm showing you today is the 7270, and it is a 44-inch printer. So the 36-inch printer will do all of your all-over sizes except for the 4X and 5X, and you might be able to get some 4Xs on there. Now, if you're going to do 4Xs and 5Xs, you might have to tile slightly right at the bottom of the shirt just to make that entire height of the shirt. All right. So in this case, a 5270 would suffice for every all-over size except for your 4X and 5X. Okay. So if you rarely do 4Xs and 5Xs anyway, that deal that I posted in the NA Creators Facebook group, they had limited printers left, and just in general, these 7270s are really hard to find right now. So, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for deals and just availability in general. All right, so I happened to get this one when they just happened to have 3 of them in stock. All right, so I will post some links to the printers that I know good sources for the printers, and then if you find them outside of that, great. I don't suggest getting them used, and it's not because I don't believe in used printers. I've had my fair share of used printers. The problem with these large format printers is when you move them, when you transport them, you see how it came crated and it was crated down to the bottom. The actual printer itself was crated to the bottom. Well, most people are moving these things, number one, on the wheels, and number two, if they crate it, it's still crated up on the wheels. So all that vibration works its way up through the feet into the printer and to the print heads. And if those print heads are very sensitive, if they catch too much vibration, they can malfunction. Okay, so a lot of people, they'll prove that, hey, it prints, I'm gonna put it on this shipping carrier and ship it to you. But yes, it prints before they put it on the carrier. Once it gets to you from the carrier, it could start developing problems because of the vibration it experienced during the move. Okay, so just be careful with the used ones. The D on the end just stands for a dual roll. Please don't think you need the dual roll. The dual roll is just so that you can have two different papers installed at once, and you can kind of tell it which paper you want to use for which project. And in this case, you're probably only going to use one paper roll at a time. All right, so that was a whole lot of speech just to say okay. So let's see, I'm going to pull over to the screen what I'm looking at right now, if I can. There we go. It's extracting those files now. All right, while it's doing that, I'm going to check on the printer and see how far along we are. We are at 83%. All right, we're getting there. We're at a B level right now. We need to get to that 100. All right, let's see. We have another dialog box that popped up. Let me bring it over for you so you can see. This is the license agreement. You will have to accept it or else don't use it. And then you're going to tell it which printer you have. In this case, I have the 7270, not the D. The D stands for the dual roll. So you do not have the D unless you have, it's like an extra attachment on there, and you'll know because it's bigger too. So, and it's more expensive. You won't just get the D for no reason. All right, so let's do the 7270 here, and I'll hit next. Now this is where you can tell it what parts of the software you want to install. I'm going to go ahead and I don't think I need a plug-in for Microsoft Office. I don't want that. Now I have used this LFP accounting tool, and it's pretty neat. I don't know how accurate it is, but it will let you know, like when you just printed a print, you tell it how much your ink costs. So you put in the price, okay, well my true colors ink, my black is this, my magenta is this, and you put in the price. And then once you do a print, it'll tell you about how much ink you used up. You put in the price of your paper, it'll calculate how much paper you used up, and it'll give you a good idea of what it's costing you to print. So if you, if you're trying to guess how much you should be charging, at least that's your materials cost. You know how much it costs you to produce those all over shirts, whether you're pressing with the 16x20 press or you invested in an all over press and you're using up all that energy because it takes a lot of energy to heat those up. Be working those things into your pricing model, okay? So I am going to download the Epson Drivers and Utilities, and I am going to download the accounting tool. Links to the Epson printer guides, no thank you. All right, so let's install. And if y'all have any questions along the way, I'm checking the chat to see if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them as long as I'm not trying to multitask and do something else. I got you. All right, so now it's giving me another dialog box. Let me bring it over to you. It's saying detect the printer and automatically configure the port. Is the printer connected via a network? Now, if you have your printer connected to a router or something of that type of nature, like an Ethernet box or something, then you would hit yes, network connection. If you're going to connect it directly with a USB connection, then hit no. I'm going to go ahead and connect mine with a USB connection, and then eventually I will end up putting all of these on a network connection. All right, so I can't even hit OK right now because it is not officially connected via USB. So I'm going to pause right here because I don't want to interrupt this printer while it was almost done doing its business. We're at 99% right now of charging the ink. So I'm going to let that be. And let's see. Meanwhile, where's my mouse? Here we go. All right, well, that's going. I'm just going to check in with y'all and kind of give you an idea, a little presentation, a couple of things you might want to know a little bit about. Templates, these are some of the shirt designs here, templates that we have online at nalab.com. And of course, I want to show you the inks. All right, again, these are the ones, the large inks that are for, let me pull that down so you can see. These are large inks that are for the desktop printers. However, you can use them, and I have used them in the big boy printer, okay, the 7270, and they do great with that. However, let me go ahead, make this full screen, wrong one. Oh, I know what I have to do. Let's remove this one. There we go. Now y'all can see me, right? Cool. All right, so these are, this set here and this set is for the desktop printers. These have the EcoTank tips so that you can automatically use these for your EcoTank solutions, or you can use, they come with syringes and the needle tips, so that you can fill up the cartridges, the blank ink cartridges that we have for the 7710s, 20s, and we're working on some for the 78, 40s, and 20s, okay? This is the cleaning solution. The cleaning solution works well for if you have print head clogs, if you just happen to get those stubborn skips in your print head test, and you just, this also is almost like I won't say a lubricant, but it's non-destructive. So basically, you know how some chemicals are harsh for your print heads? This is actually going to be very gentle for the print heads, and you can leave it overnight. Some of those other cleaners, if you leave them overnight, it will actually ruin your print heads. So that's the cleaner there. And then, of course, I was going to show y'all some of the little printers here too while that's still charging. This is what I'm working on right now. I'm going to have to let y'all know about this one. This is a DTF printer, direct to film printer. It's not sublimation, but it allows us to print on dark shirts and cotton shirts because it's a different ink formulation. It uses a clear transfer sheet and it prints white behind the image so that you're able to print on dark color garments. So I'm doing a little research here. I'm looking at adding that to the product line. So I'm really excited about this. Like, you know how many people ask, can you sublimate on black shirts? Like, this is going to be amazing once we get this worked out. So I will keep y'all definitely posted on that one. Here is the 16650. This is the one I brag on because this baby right here, let me let y'all get up close and personal to her because she is definitely the one. This actually prints faster than my big boy printer can print. This prints faster than the 24-inch Epson printers, especially if you're just printing 13 by 19. So I can get a 13 by 19 print. One of these, for instance, let's see, that print right there, this is always and forever. As a 13 by 19, that's a little bigger than a 13 by 19. That's what I call a jumbo size print. So that one is like an 18 or no, yeah, 18 by 24. So it looks all over, but it's really just taking up the majority of the front of the shirt. But this one does your 13 by 19, so you have to put it into the back. That's how it opens up in the back. And then I have all my printers on wheels right here just so I can pull them out a little bit. And then if I'm doing roll media, I'll cut my sheet. And let's see if you can see that right there. I'll cut my sheet and then I'll just roll the excess media over this little dowel right here and just let it kind of feed into the printer. So I don't need like a special roll media holder or anything because I still cut sheets. You don't want to do anything longer than about 46 inches in length, which is perfect because you can even do 4X and 5X all over if you can print up to 46 inches long, which means roll media is less sheets. And if you have not seen the split tile template, if you haven't used it yet, and I have anyone here that has used it, y'all please let folks know how you feel about it and whether it has helped you out with printing all over shirts from the smaller format printers. I'm working on one right now for 8.5-inch wide media for you to be able to do the roll media and 8.5 by 14-inch tile sheets, okay? And it's already set up for you for the different sizes. All you have to do is upload your artwork and then you do a run, and it will this action will run and split up your images for you into JPEGs. You print those individual JPEGs and you're good to go. All right, so that's my 16650. It prints a 13 by 19 in about 35 seconds. Okay, 35 seconds. It's really that good. I'm gonna show you too. This is the 15,000. Some of you asked me about the 15,000. That was this one here. It also does 13 by 19. It took about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to print a 13 by 19. So it's significantly slower, but it's still a good printer. It is also the eco tank, so you don't have to worry about the cartridges running out. And then of course the tried and true, this baby over here is actually one that I'm rehabbing for a friend because she had it sitting up for a little while. So I'm going to use the cleaning solution to make sure that I take care of this printer, and I will document that tomorrow to show you how to use the cleaning solution and kind of how to troubleshoot some of your issues that you might be having with your print heads clogging up and how you can use the True Colors cleaning solution. So that one is a 7710 because it only has one tray, but I also have the boxes for the printers underneath there to kind of remind y'all which printer goes with which box. So yeah, we should be having some fun in these upcoming days. So I think I am 100% done with the large format printer here. I'm going to take you over to that, and oh wait, we need to go back to the software. So let's do that. Let's do that right now. All right, so I can, let's see, I need to take y'all back to the computer screen. I'm going to walk you back over to where you can hear me. All right, computer screen. And we're going to add that back to the stream. And let's see, we were at the point in which it wanted us to plug in the printer to the computer. So I have my USB cable. Now you have to buy these yourself. It does not come with the printer. I don't know why. Not one printer I've ever purchased comes with the data cable. Maybe like back in the day the HPs did or something, but I know every Epson I purchase does not come with a data cable. So just be prepared to go ahead and purchase one. I purchased the longer ones off of Amazon. I will put the link in the description, but it allows me to not have to have my printer so close to the computer. And then eventually you can make them wireless, but I do not like to use wireless at all with my big Photoshop files. You just run into too many possibilities of messing up your data transfer. All right, so detect the printer, automatically configure the port. Oh, you know what? I am connecting it. Yep, I'm connected to the right printer. Yep. I'm just making sure before I hit this. Okay. And let me check my printer because when I plugged it in, I saw something pop up. It says the paper is out, no paper loaded. And I'm thinking, let's just go. No, I should go ahead and do what the printer told me to do. Let me do what the printer told me to do. So I'm going to take it back to the printer. Take it back to the printer. Because I need to follow directions. That sounds like sound advice. All right, so let's go back to the camera. Got it. Let's go back to the printer here. And what is she talking about? What do you need, madam? Whatever you need, I got you. Paper out, no paper loaded. All right, so that's the error that it's giving me right now. Now, let me go grab some paper. And these paper rolls are heavy. So let me go ahead and prep for that. Get this stuff out of the way. Just in case I have to rest it somewhere. And I want to make sure that I have my roller. Oh, I did order an extra roller. I was wondering where this came from. Okay. I'll be back with a box of roll media. All right, I'm back. Speaking of back, this day is kind of taking a toll on mine. All right, so go ahead and open that up. I'll also let you know my suggestions for the roll media and all of this stuff. This one is that text print. I did not like this one. I think this is the one I didn't like because it was not as tacky as I wanted it to be. But I have another set. This one's just easier to get to. Let me go ahead and pull this out of the box. Oh, this is heavy. I might need my brother's help. Hold on. Help is on the way. Alright, let's see. Over here with the roll media. You can push that over a little bit. So it has this plastic on it that makes it easier to pull it out, but this thing is heavy. Well, don't pull it out by the plastic. Here, this is a little bit down and pull it out. You got it? So you want to kick the bottom out because it's so heavy and long that it will be very difficult to just lift straight up out of the box. So,
Is there a certain way to flap?
yes, it is.
Under?
And as a matter of fact, if you look on, there should be a cheat on here that tells you which way. It's supposed to roll forward. That's how I know it, but I thought there was something on here to tell you that. I don't see it. No, that's just telling you to do the print side.
It's under fold up. That means it's supposed to fold up. Right? If I was to flip it around, it would fold down from the flip up. That would be. The picture shows it.
That's not how it goes though. The paper goes down.
Goes over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Not under. You should.
Yeah.
Want me to look at the instructions?
Sure. I thought it was a diagram on the little roller somewhere, but I want to show you this about the roller. So you have a 2-inch and a 3-inch. So 2 inches here, 3 inches here. It depends on what type of roll you have. So I have a 3-inch roll, so I just flip it over to the 3-inch side. All right. And then when you're getting ready to install it, you pull this lever, like go opposite to how I think here. And if you notice that when you pull this lever, these little pins, they recess. And then when you push it in, the little pins kind of pop out to catch the roll. Okay. So we are going to get ready to install this thing. Now I'm going to show you this one slides into place here. And you have to unlock. As a matter of fact, let me go through the steps because it'll tell you what steps to do. I'm going to close this up. And this is paper out. No paper loaded. I'm going to hit OK. And then it's going to tell me move the lock lever up and insert the leading edge of the roll paper to slide. So this is what's going to tell me what side, which way to put the paper in. Okay? So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to lift the lock up. Can you see me? Lifting the lock up there. And then it says, insert the leading edge of the roll paper slide. So the paper's going to roll down into the paper slide. Now it has this little line right here where you're supposed to line up the edge of the paper. And I think that's what that image is for. Okay? So now that I've lifted this up, you'll notice that little pin holder or this roll holder disappears so that I can slide once I have my roll inserted. This surface right here is very easy to slide on. So I actually install it on the flat part, and then I'll push it because it's really heavy. I'll push it until it gets into place, and then it'll pop in there, okay? So I'll show you that. Let's go ahead and pull. Make sure y'all can see the whole thing there. All right, let's go ahead and pull both of these out. Put them on the flat part. And this is where I'm saying you might need some help because these rolls are extremely heavy. So we want the paper to be rolling forward.
Over?
Yes.
That's the way it's set up.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and set mine in. Now I have to pull the pin. I'm going to pull the lever, right? I already have, is yours set up for a 3-inch cord, Blake? Because mine is.
Wide?
3-inch cord.
Wide or small?
The bigger. It has a 2 and a 3 on there.
It's the big one.
Did you check the number on the side?
It's two sides, right? The bigger one, right?
Right. But it has a number, right? And you know that it's on the right number.
It's on the one where it's spread out. The bigger one, 3. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's on 3. All right, I just wanted you to notice the number. All right, so once we have it in place, hold on, I move mine and then that one just falls into place. Let it go. Let it just sit on the flat part. All right, so once it's on the flat part, you're going to direct this side. You're not going to worry about this side. This side is going to lock based on the width of the paper. And can you see me? Let me kind of move out of the way. So this side has the slot that it has to go in, okay? So I'm just letting it fall into place. And then automatically the other side, depending on what size the roll medium is, will lock into one of these grooves. All right, so once I have it in place, I'm going to, well, let me just follow the instructions. says move the lock lever up and insert the leading edge of the roll paper. So we got to insert the leading edge first before we lock it back. So for this paper, we have some adhesive strips on here, kind of tacking it closed. And you will have to make sure that you roll enough of the paper out to not have to deal with that. I like to use my blade to, because I don't see how it curls the paper up here. I don't like that being inside my machine. So I'd rather use the blade to kind of trim that off. And some of them fit, like that one right there, peeled off real easy. Because I don't like to put split paper in the printer. I have a fear of it like catching and messing up my print head. Okay, so go ahead and put that out.
You need to cut the edge off?
No, I'm just gonna pull the, like, see that little piece that's hanging off the edge over there, that little piece of adhesive. We're just gonna make sure that's not on there, because when you cut it crooked too, you can mess it up.
You flip it over this way. Another piece of tape will do.
I know.
We'll pull it forward.
Yes, you'll be able to pull. No. Pull it back on the roll. Let it stay on the roll. And then I'm actually going to pull it through the printer. So push it in. There is a line right here for your leading edge, and I see that it's not quite on that line. So I'm going to keep pushing it through. And it says feed the paper until the leading edge reaches the front. So I'm going to keep pushing it through. And I'm going to feed it through more than just a little bit, because I have those little adhesive pieces on there. And I want to make sure, because one time I didn't do this. See how my adhesive piece is all the way down here? So I waste all of this paper from, I'm sorry, let me pull it down. This is where those adhesive pieces are. I waste that from here to here, and I just kind of have to eat that. Okay?
That's the edge. That's the pieces in the middle.
Yeah, and some of your paper won't come with that little that adhesive on there. So I'm going to feed the paper, and at some point in time, yeah, point 2 is I have to lock it. And I used to, when I first got this, I forgot to lock it. And like I said, this is a heavy paper roll. This is a big paper roll. So I'm going to suggest, like, after I do this test run, I'm not going to just print a bunch of prints with this heavy roll. I'm going to take some of my paper off, okay? I'm going to roll some of my paper off of this and just have it as a backup roll. So that's why I save my rolls from the inside, my cores, and I'll put the paper on it and just hold it about, if this is a 300-foot roll, I'll take about 100 feet off, okay? All right, so I can hit OK now. And this is preparing. Please wait. Now, this part should not take long, but we're just going to check it out and see.
You said 100 out of 300?
It basically, 200 feet is what it likes. If it's anything over 200 feet, it jumps off. Remember, it's heavy and it'll jump off.
So you
the roll.
take it off, but it's still usable.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's
you
why I
didn't
say
take it off like it was no good. That's how I did.
No.
Right.
I was explaining
I was
earlier
about to say
that.
a third.
Yeah. Now I wish that the smaller rolls were more affordable. And honestly, see how that's doing. I'm gonna go ahead and look that up.
The smaller rolls are more expensive.
Right, because
The
you get
more cheap.
the bulk rolls are less per foot. All right, says no. Well, there's a paper load area, and I think what it is it didn't detect the edge right, so I have to hit OK and remove the paper.
Can you feed it through so we can cut it on? Do we have to clean
We'll just go ahead and trim it.
it? You got it ready?
Yeah, I don't want to tell people to cut on top of their printer, but
This camera is perfect for that. You fuck up. Yeah.
got it. All right, so let's go ahead and retry this now. And you have to, once you remove the paper, you have to hit OK so that it understands that you removed the paper. And let me come back here so you can see. So understand you remove the paper. So now we're going to move the lock back up so that it knows that you're loading paper. We're going to load the paper back in. And it might be having this issue because of the heaviness of this paper too. But I'm trying to see. I know I can get through this without having to take any paper off. All right, that's good. Now, we're going to go ahead and pull the lock back down. All right.
So do you have to tell the printer how long the paper is?
No. Well, at some point in time, it will ask you. You can tell it, and it'll keep track of that.
So do you have to keep track of what you cut off?
No. I mean, you can estimate that. You can estimate that.
You have to estimate it.
Yes. But you still tell it, and it keeps up with every time you print, it'll keep up with what you suggested.
Then this one, you have to say, this is 300, I cut off.
Right. But like I said, if I cut off 100, then I'm going to tell it that it's 200. So it prints every time you remove the media, it prints a little tag on there that lets the system know how many feet are left. Yeah. And I'm hoping, I haven't tried this yet, but take up reel. What is going on, paper? Let's see if these pins are in the right place. And I know this roll is big, but it should still be able to read this. Hold on, let me move the paper and press the OK button. Okay, so let me move the paper. Let me make sure that my pins are in good. So I'm going to lift the lever on the side and push this in. Like I said, it gets loose and it feels like it was loose. So I'm going to try that. It says this paper is heavy and it kind of pushes on these holders. So let's try that. And then let's try that. So all I did was pull the lever on the other side and push it in a little bit more. And let me make sure I am lined up here. There's a little line to measure up to. And let's pull this down and sit okay. Come on, baby. I really don't want to have to take all of this paper off of this roll tonight because it does take some energy. And I want to use, I told y'all instead of the tray at the bottom that I have a take-up reel. And I want to use the take-up reel to help me with basically unwinding the media from here. I want to see if that works because that would save me a lot of time and energy. But I'm not going to install that tonight. I'm tired. Let's see, baby. Come on. See how that paper's kind of bunching up as it rolls up? It's a little big. This is preparing. Please wait. Well, it says printing now, so I think we are past that step of loading the paper. All right, we just get a trim. And that's what that little catch basket, if you saw it just kicked out a little trim of paper down there, it would have caught that. But we are going to install a take-up reel instead. So trim off another piece. All right, and I think I may have had a job from this computer going to this printer before because it says check the driver settings, but this has never printed to the printer before. So let's go ahead and see if we can set up this driver and hit OK.
You want me to change the camera?
Oh, actually, you know what? Oh, yeah, it did. It popped up on the computer screen. That's what it was. Okay, hold on. Let me show y'all the computer screen again.
On the screen, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I got the computer over there a little bit, and then you're seeing what I'm seeing on the screen here. It says the printer driver installation and port configuration were completed successfully. Something else popped up right before that, and I mistakenly hit OK. So there was something that popped up on my screen when that error showed up on the computer. I'm on the printer. So let's see. This is the next dialog box that asks about the language selection. I'm going to press English and hit Next. And then I get this next dialog box. And I probably should have continued setting up the, I'd done a print head test and everything before I connected it to the computer. Let's see. Do the inks have extra ink colors with the light colors? No, I know what you're talking about, the light cyan and light magenta. No, these are, it's cyan, magenta, yellow, and then there are two blacks. There's a matte black and then there's a photo black. So there's an MK and a PK. So there are 5 colors total. And we're gonna, and it's asking me now for the LFP accounting tool if I want to do the 32-bit or the 64-bit. I'm going to do 64 because that's how my system is set up. Most new computers are going to be 64-bit. Yeah, anyone on Facebook, if y'all come over to YouTube instead, please. It will actually allow me to see your questions because some of the questions come through and some of them just say Facebook user. When they do come through, I can't tell who it is. But if you do it on YouTube, I can see your questions. So there should be, if you just go to youtube.com/innatelab, and Erica, do you mind typing that in the comments there just so so the folks over on the Facebook side can see it? And I think that's it. We're no longer receiving any dialog boxes here. I'm going to double check. Oh, I'm lying. It's installing the accounting tool right now, which we don't need that to work this out. So let's see. Let's cancel whatever job it's talking about here on the printer. Job cancel. And let me see here. I'm going to turn the printer off.
Your chest is in the way.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to turn the printer off and turn it back on. Wait till this accounting tool finishes installing. And it revs up pretty quickly. Sometimes, depending on how long it's been since you used it, it might take a little minute, minute and a half to warm up, get the print heads going before it'll print. So it's not like a printer as soon as you turn it on, you're going to immediately be able to print. It does have to get the print heads going. All right, so I have another dialog box here that is telling me that I have to agree to some terms, accept the license agreement, and install. And again, that's the conversion kit, everything that we did today. So we started off, I talked to you about the chips and the maintenance cards, and then of course what we did together today was we filled up the empty cartridges with the brand new ink, and I still have ink in each of these left over, about 300 milliliters left over. And you want to make sure you keep these funnels and keep these syringes, clean them up and keep those for future reference.
Still rinse it out?
Yeah, I meant to rinse them out, but it's taking a little too much time. I don't want them to dry. Let's see, what are we working on now? We're still waiting on the accounting tool. And I was stubborn. I'm turning the printer back on just to see what it's doing. It's finished now. So let's go ahead and hit finish. Even though that driver or software was not needed to run the printer. So I was hoping that wasn't the reason why I was hanging up. Alright, now it says the software installation is complete. I can hit exit. Alright. Let me go ahead and turn the camera back on so you all can see. Before we do that, it's going to ask you for product registration. You may want to go ahead and register it just so that you can take advantage of the warranty and that sort of thing. I'm not going to do this right now, but of course, you can tell it to remind you, or you can just exit. I'll tell it to remind you. And yeah, it's getting a little loud now. I think it's ready. All right, so let's see. So I don't have any errors showing up or anything. We are going to go back to camera mode. And let's see what we have going on here now. It says it's printing. So it might be printing some kind of initialization key or something and spitting it out on the floor. I'm just letting it do what it does. You know what? I think I was not supposed to be connected to the computer during this time. So let me take that out. I'm going to take out my USB cable right now just to go ahead and get through this initial process. I want to go to my, let me show you here. I'm going to go to my settings, not my settings, but my maintenance menu, and I'm going to go to a nozzle check. I'm going to press OK to do a nozzle check, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Usually your first nozzle check is not going to be 100%, so you may have to go ahead and clean, but let's just check and see. Let me see if I can check this one. Okay. And we're very close to 100%. Let's see if I can show you here. This lighting is horrible. Okay, so I'm missing a few lines here in my M1. And if you notice, you have M1, Y1. Those are basically two areas where you have magenta, two areas where you have cyan, your PK and your MK, etc. So I see just a little bit of missing lines there. So I am going to do a head cleaning. So exit or head cleaning. I'm going to do a head cleaning. Say okay. And you can't see this menu here. I really wish you could, because this is something pretty unique. We're not used to seeing this on the small formats. You can see barely, but I can tell it which heads I want to clean. So there's a C1 M1, there is a Y1 PK1, an MK1 and MK2, a PK2 Y2, and an M2 C2. So if I'm looking at this, I see my C1 and M1 need to be cleaned, so I can check that one off specifically. Then the Y1 and PK1 has a little bit of a spot, so I'm going to check that one off. My MK1 and MK2 is perfect, so I don't have to check that one off. My PK2 and my Y2 is perfect. I don't have to check that one off. And my M2C2 only has one little piece missing, so I am going to check that one off. So you see how we don't have to clean all of the print heads. We can choose which ones or a combination of the ones. Let me go back. I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of them. And you can clean all of them by selecting this one here. And you have to hit the down arrow to make the selection, okay? So I'm just gonna clean all of them and hit okay and press okay to start. But that is a unique thing that we can now clean individual print heads. Before, we did not have that option. All right, so I'm letting it clean right now. And I think I really should have done this completely before I put the USB cable to the printer. All right, so we'll just let that do what it does right now. I'm going to. I sat there and zoomed on the camera and it didn't zoom for y'all. So I guess it just zooms on my preview. It doesn't actually zoom for you. So does anyone have any questions or comments? Y'all have anything that you might want to know about while we're in this little downtime right now? Because we're pretty much done as far as wrapping up. I may pull up an image. I think I will pull up an image to print as long as my print head's doing all right. So I know what I can do since we're late and some of y'all we still have 26 folks here with us tonight. It is late. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my randomness, and I need you to be on YouTube for this. So anybody that's on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube right now, because if you're not on YouTube, I can't see the name and I can't see your comment, so you won't be able to be eligible for the free prints. Okay, so I'm going to give you a moment to go ahead and come over to the YouTube side. Okay. Come on over to the YouTube side. And just go to youtube.com/innate lab. Okay? I think Erica put that for y'all to see. All right, YouTube users, the Facebook users, I hope you're over here by now, because I want everyone here who wants a chance to win. We're going to do 3 free all over shirt prints, okay? And once you get the prints, I want you to press them. I want you to follow the video. I'm also going to give this person free access, if you don't already have access, to the split template. So you'll have the split template class. That is a $100 template. If you are an Academy member, then you can use your coupon code and get it for 75% off. As a matter of fact, let me just show y'all.
So they don't get a free S-Dot wooden design?
Let's see here. The split template, I'm going to show y'all on the Academy. .innatelab.com. Blake is trying to give y'all some extra free stuff. I didn't intend on this.
I want to see you do something different. I want to see your inspiration for a design.
All right, so I want to show you what the split template is and where it's located. We can have another live class coming up. If you want to know how to use it and you want to be a part of the live class where we do a workshop, that workshop, I believe we're going to do one this Saturday. We're going to see if we get enough people enrolled. But this is the split template. And you've probably heard about it or seen it, but basically you pull up the size shirt that you want to print, and you will use this Photoshop setup to automatically split your shirt into tiles. So if you are printing at home with 13 by 19 sheets, you can get a similar effect to what we're doing with this all-over printer. And this is a good medium place to be if you have a 13-inch printer, and you can even use roll media, and then work your way into doing all-overs and see if the all-over market is for you. And then you very well may end up purchasing your own wide format printer, or maybe even ordering the wide format prints from us. If you need them, we do print for you, okay? So I'm going to make sure that whoever wins tonight gets the template for the split. You're going to get 3 prints, And I will do a live session where I design something for you. And that is a big old deal. Because y'all know I rarely do that these days. Okay? All right. So, in order to be eligible, you have to comment. And I want you to comment a 1 if you are an Academy member. I want you to comment a 2 if you're not an Academy member. Okay? So 1 if you are an Academy member, a 2 if you are not an Academy member. And just because you're an Academy member doesn't mean that you won't win, okay? I just want to see how many Academy members and non-Academy members we have here tonight. We give y'all a little moment to answer because I know this thing has some delay. We give you a moment. All right, Rona, I see you coming through. It's a 2. I see you. I see you. You said 1s and 2s, and you can't win if you don't participate. So let me see y'all participate. Let me see in the comments. And there's no shame. If you're not an Academy member, that's not going to be a ticket against you either, okay? Let me see 1s and 2s. I'm giving y'all just a little bit of time because I know there's a delay here, and I don't want to hold it against you. All right, so tonight I am, let's see, it is 12:25, A to the M. Y'all, thank you all for hanging out with me. So I'm going to choose a 1 and a 2. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now because I think I've given you a good enough time. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 2s, and 1, 2, 2 1s. I'm going to do a eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Y'all ready? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Pick the child by the stone. If they always let them go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right. Elaine, you're a 2. Elaine. Go ahead and make sure that you message Erica Kane in the Facebook Creatives group. Okay, so I got me a 2. Oh, I see some more 1s popping up now. Y'all came in right on time. All right, so I'm about to do the 1s now. All right. And really and truly, I'm just going to move my mouse up and down and randomly stop on 1. All right, let's go. I got to make sure I see all the 1s. Here we go. Mode. It's a tiger. Let's go. If it hollers, let him go. Eeny, mighty, mo. Kenyon Cole, you are 1. All right, let me go ahead and pin that one so Erica can see that one. Oh, Corey, I didn't see you down there. It popped up later. I'm sorry. But Kenyon, you are the winner of the 1. So I actually just gave away 2 of these prizes tonight. So you will receive 3 prints of whatever we design. We're going to design together. I may even have you on my stream. So the way that this StreamYard works is I can invite you to come on either to share your screen or to share your camera or both. And we're going to do a live session together. Okay? Thanks to Blake. That is actually a great idea. We get to spend some time together. A little QT, okay? I don't do one-on-ones anymore because of the time constraints, but this will essentially be a one-on-one session that you do. So Kenyon Cole and was it Elaine? Elaine Reynolds? Eve, you can go ahead and get their information. Make sure that you message Erica Kane on the Facebook Creatives Facebook group. If you're not in that group, it's almost impossible to do tech support for you because that's how we kind of work through our issues. That's where everybody comes together and can help one another. And we're able to give all of our announcements in that group of specials that we're doing when we do flash sales. Last month, February, we had 50% off flash sales. So you were able to get each 50% off, templates 50% off. And we do a flash sale every month. So I haven't announced when I'm going to do one for March, but it will be coming up very soon. So you want to be in the Innate Creatives group so that you are aware of when those things pop up, okay? So we have our winners for tonight. The printer finally stopped making noise over here. It's asking me if I want to do another nozzle check. I'm good for tonight. And, oh, you know what? No, let me go ahead and do a nozzle check just so I can show you all. And I'll pull the camera back up in a minute. Let's go ahead and that down. All right. So we'll do another nozzle check. Press OK. That wasn't so bad. Now I will tell you this: it probably takes more time to put that that paper tray. I mean, not the paper tray, but the catch, that paper catch. It probably takes more time to do that than it does to install the printer and do everything else. That thing is a little tricky. Okay, we have a darn near perfect. You know, this thing is zoomed in. I'll zoom it back out. Like it was doing something while it was zoomed in. All right, there we go. I have one tiny space right there. I'm not really concerned with that, but I could do another nozzle check. Huh?
Fold it in. Don't cup it out.
Oh, like that? You all see that? I'm sorry. I apologize about this lighting. Okay, so that's it. We're good. Good night. We have accomplished a little bit of something tonight. I feel great. We have some winners tonight, so now we have to decide, and we will do an announcement of when we'll do the live session together, okay? And I will even, once we get that session done, I'll even show you your printing, okay? So I think that's it for tonight. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and let me know before I let y'all go. Yes, congratulations, my loves. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I know it's been a long night. It's been a rough night, and y'all wanted to celebrate this moment with me, so I appreciate you. All right, guys, y'all know what it is. I love y'all for real. Hold on, I'm gonna let myself get on camera for a second so I can tell y'all. Because y'all don't get to ever see me say bye. Let me get out of this poor light, and I apologize. All right, so till next time, y'all know what it is. I love y'all for real. Y'all say it with me now. Bye.